The Wake Forest Demon Deacons, freshly minted as the new number 19 team in the country in the latest AP poll out tonight, enter Alumni Hall in Annapolis, Maryland for their Monday night matchup against the Midshipmen from the Naval Academy. Bob Rathman bidding you welcome to ACC basketball tonight. Just 2 days ago, this Wake Forest team was in Chapel Hill, and they administered a shellacking on the Tar Heels they had never seen before at the Smith Center. Their worst home defeat ever, 84-62 Wake Forest. Now Wake comes to Annapolis, stepping out of ACC play, and it is what the coaches will tell you is a very dangerous game. My partner is Dan Bonner, and Dan, I think you'd have to put Skip Prosser in that number of people who are nervous about tonight's game.
I was able to talk to Skip, and he is nervous about the game, but remember one thing, Bob, coaches are always able to find that black cloud around the silver lining. However, there really is a concern about a letdown. Wake will have to be very careful, because if Navy gets going, they can score a lot of points and make life difficult.
Which leads us to our Touchstone Energy key matchup tonight.
Well, when you're talking about the Naval Academy, and one of their key guys is Jason Jean-Pierre, 6'3", coming off his career high of 24 points against Brown, where he made 6 3-point baskets. Consistency has been a problem. Only a 36-point shooter from 2-point range, 43 from beyond the arc. When he plays well, he's sort of the X factor. Navy can really get going. Now, on the Wake Forest side of things, you're talking about a guy who's playing extremely well, and that would be Josh Howard. 20 points and 9 rebounds against North Carolina, and interestingly enough, that's the first time in 4 games that he hasn't had a double-double. Howard, a guy who everybody thought would play well in Skip Prosser's system, he's starting to do that.
And this Wake Forest team is playing very good basketball. Josh Howard's numbers for the year, and the Deacons overall 11 wins and 3 defeats as they get set to take on Navy out of the Patriot League. When we come back, we'll have the opening tip-off for you as Skip Prosser leads his Deacs on the road to Annapolis right after this.
Babies are completely inconsiderate about being born. I asked my mom if anything can make hospitals close, so babies would just have to wait. But she says our electric co-op worked with the hospital to make sure they always have backup power and never close. So today I had school play with another baby, and she had to go. That's okay. I'm still her baby.
And we shine as one.
So, what's your deal?
Fast food consultant. I'll try your new product and tell you if I like it. What do you got?
My new big cheeseburger. For a limited time, it's just 79 cents. A big patty with 2 kinds of melting cheese for 79 cents.
Okay, I'll eat that.
What do you charge?
$25,000.
Any takers?
All I need is one. So the $25,000 is... per nugget.
Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go.
Now head home for the holidays in any new Jeep vehicle with the security of 7-year or 100,000-mile powertrain protection. Plus, we've extended 0% APR on select 2002s through January 8th.
Hooray for the fun, is the pudding done? Hooray for the pumpkin pie.
This ACC game is brought to you in part by Jeep and the all-new Jeep Liberty, the next great Jeep ID. The Brigade of the Midshipmen on here at Alumni Hall in Annapolis, ready to cheer on the Middies. And they played some outstanding basketball at home. They've gone 5-1 on this floor this season. For Wake Forest, the starting lineup: Darius Sungaila, Antoine Scott, Broderick Hicks, Josh Howard, and Andre Dawson, Jahil Lewis, Jamie Nero, Francis Ebong, Jason Jean-Pierre, and Damon Shepard, the starting lineup for Navy. The officials tonight, we're looking at Mr. Tom Lopes. He's working with Bob Donato and Jim Haney. Deacs on the road, 2-2, and they control the opening tip. Broderick Hicks to bring it up against Damon Shepard. We're underway from Alumni Hall.
Man-to-man defense for the Middies, and what Wake Forest would like to do is get started early.
And they start, unfortunately for them, with a turnover. Sungaila tried to feed low. Now Navy has it. This is actually Mitch Moore who's going to draw the starting assignment for Navy, number 54, out to Damon Shepard.
Moore 6'9", 220. They're concerned about Wake Forest's size and muscle on the inside.
Shepard from 15. And there's Moore coming up with a rebound inside against Songaila. And Darius clears to Craig Dawson. Songaila up and in.
Bob, and that's the way Wake Forest plays basketball under Skip Prosser. Darius Songaila gets the ball out and simply sprints to the block where he catches it before the defense gets ready and scores easily.
Lewis to Ebong inside. That rejected by Scott. Tremendous block by Antoine.
Yeah, he closed that ground pretty quickly.
And Hicks, tough angle, got the lay-in off the window.
And the Naval Academy really has to make sure that they get back every time. Make Wake Forest play against the set defense. They haven't done it.
Jean-Pierre met by Broderick Hicks. Bumped by Hicks and a foul.
We talked about Navy changing the starting lineup because of Wake Forest's size and muscle on the inside. So one of the keys for Wake Forest is to use that muscle effectively. Then we talk about pace. Wake likes to play quickly, but they have to do it without giving Navy easy opportunities. For Navy, they've got to score points. They do a great job when they score over 70, and one of the reasons is they can get turnovers. Their defense has to force the turnovers and create some easy opportunities.
Our cheap keys to the game. Wake leading 4-0. Nice backdoor cut and the basket. Jaheel Lewis, the senior from Houston, opens the Naval Academy scoring. Josh Howard right in front of head coach Don DeVoe. Now Hicks has it.
Lewis matched up against Howard. That would be a very interesting matchup on this end of the court.
Hicks for 3, puts it home. Broderick Hicks averages just over 8 a game. He's already scored 5 here in the first half. And a near steal by Josh Howard. Maybe trying to hang on to it against the press. Jean-Pierre.
You want to force the turnovers. You don't want to make them, obviously.
Deflected out of bounds. Navy with 23 seconds on the shot clock.
This is a Naval Academy team that really likes to shoot the 3. They are a team that scores a lot of points. And when they get it going from 3-point range, they can be pretty effective. And so Wake Forest really has to defend them well and I think jump out to the lead.
Inside Ebong.
And that's what we're talking about. There you go. And when you talk about playing good defense, Bob, you don't just mean the guy who's guarding the ball. This is an occasion where Songaila goes to help, so his man Ebong is open, and Hicks rotates over and draws the charge. Hicks stands out there and guards his man. That's a dunk for Ebong.
Dawson recovers. Now back to Howard.
Last year's game against the Naval Academy, Hicks was the guy that really got Wake Forest off to the big win. It was a close game, and Hicks went on a tear. Hicks doing it early here.
Howard, back iron. And the rebound to Shepard. Wake won last year in Winston-Salem against Navy, 90-58. Hicks scored a dozen in that game. Lewis. Blocked. Follow up and in by Mitch Moore. Mitch Moore, the junior from Ohio, had a 22-point game against Coastal Carolina just a week ago on January the 2nd.
This is a Navy team where Coach Don DeVoe isn't afraid of playing a lot of different guys.
Songaila up and in. Darius, second field goal.
The more you watch Darius Songaila play, the more you are impressed by what great hands he has. He really catches the ball. You get it anywhere around him, he's going to catch it. He really knows how to take it to the goal.
Lewis had it, didn't take it. Ebong now outside. Jean-Pierre, no. And the Deacons rebound, but thrown away in the backcourt. Picked up by Jean-Pierre. Now to the wing. Nice cut by Ebong. Equally good pass inside. Tough in traffic, though, for Mitch Moore. And travels. A timeout in Annapolis. The Deacons off to a good start as they lead Navy 9-4 with 15:51 left in the first half.
The ride, don't need a reason why. Everything's alright.
Easy boy.
Welcome to the best damn sports store, period. Clean up on aisle 6.
Go get that out of here.
You ready, Jimmy?
No.
Why pay child support with the Pro Athlete Paternity Test?
Oh, DeMarco Farr. John Sally. John Sally.
Comedy, commentary, highlights, the best damn sports show, period.
The last word, Jim Rome.
Oh no, here we go again. Electrifying, gravity-defying, mesmerizing. Oh wait, there's more. Things are heating up. A lot of smack, a lot of controversy. Here we go. Welcome to the jungle. I am all over this. I am all over that.
The last word, reinventing sports talk as you know it. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Number 19, Wake Forest, 9-4 over Navy at 15:51 of the first half. Antoine Scott leads the Deacs in blocks, and he had a beautiful block early.
Second leading shot blocker in the ACC, and he just reacts very quickly to that pass. With Scott inside, Navy might want to consider launching a couple of those threes, and it's been Wake Forest has hit the only three-point basket in the game, and it's Broderick Hicks doing a nice job as Navy goes to double team. Hicks goes and finds the open spot. Lots of times when you do that, you can find the basket. And now on the other end, Wake comes back and scores and a foul.
First bucket for Josh. He'll go to the line. And the foul on Jahil Lewis, his first. Josh Howard has an interesting statistical combination, Dan. He leads the team in rebounding and steals. Hits the free throw to finish off the three-point play.
Josh Howard gets out there on the point of the press, and with those long arms, he really creates some problems. And that's how he gets a lot of his steals, Bob. You try to pass the ball around him, and you just don't realize how quick he is. And in that case, I'm not talking about foot speed. I'm talking about his ability to get his arms out there and get him in the passing lane. And Wake Forest shooting 5 of 6 thus far.
Lewis open from the baseline, pops it home.
And that's what Navy has to do. When they find the open shots, they have to take them. You don't want to be afraid to take the outside jumper. If you've got the open shot, it's much better off to let it go rather than try to penetrate inside. Just closer is not necessarily better.
Hicks to Dawson. Craig's baseline runner. Jam followed by Howard, and he get up in the air.
We better find Josh Howard around the basket.
14-6 Demon Deacons. And again, Navy with the miscue.
You don't lead your team in rebounding unless you are very active on the boards, and Josh Howard starts from the left-hand side of your screen and just runs at the basket. You got to find all the guys and block them out, but one of the guys you got to go looking for is the other team's leading rebounder.
14-6 Navy. Trailing by 8 with 14:50 left in the first half. Deeks attack with Broderick Hicks. Rawson tough to get it.
Mid stay in the man-to-man defense.
Howard out of the corner. Pumps it off the front of the rim. Taj Matthews, number 34, in white, in for Navy.
It's going to be hard for Lewis to get that jump shot off with Josh Howard and those long arms at 6'6". He's going to try to force Lewis to put it on the deck and go to the goal.
Scott Long on the perimeter. Shepard. Sungalo fouled on the rebound. by Jaheel Lewis, his second. Your Regional Sports Network is home to the best in ACC basketball tomorrow night. An ACC doubleheader as Virginia looks to rebound from their loss to NC State as they travel to Clemson to take out the Tigers. And then Florida State battles NC State. The action tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, right here on your Regional Sports Network.
Bob, and after our first weekend of ACC play, after the first of the year, and that's when conference play really gets serious, we certainly have an interesting conference race, some results that people didn't expect, and it certainly spices things up a little bit. Both North Carolina State and Florida State coming off big wins. Be interesting to see how they react.
And NC State win in Charlottesville. Virginia's first defeat. Sungila couldn't connect on the.
And the only word you can use for Florida State's win against Duke is stunning. The Seminoles played very, very well.
Three-pointer won't go for Scott Long. Another attempt. This one rejected by Sungila. Howard leads a 4-on-1. Scott with a big jam.
Now Scott's a guy who scores 60% of his points as a direct result of dunks. So you certainly want to try to force him to do something other than dunk the ball.
He first dunked in the 5th grade. He's been dunking ever since. Long board to Hicks. Roderick in the middle on a 3-on-3. Howard slows it down.
They won't slow it down very long. Wake Forest really likes to move the ball and take the first good open look that they have.
And it's a runner by Josh Howard. He's up to 7 early points. And the Deacons lead 18-6. That will force Don DeVoe to take a timeout.
If you're worried about a letdown and you're Skip Prosser, what you like to see is your team jump out very aggressively. Now here's Ebong, who has an opportunity for the short jumper, but he elects to get it closer to the basket, and Sungila blocks it. And then Josh Howard off the block shot. That creates an excellent transition opportunity, and Scott runs the floor very, very well and capitalizes for the Demon Deacons.
Wake Forest continues to shoot lights out early. Of course, a lot of dunks will help that percentage. They're 8 of 12 for 67%. Meanwhile, the Naval Academy 3 for 13, and Don DeVoe has some words of encouragement for his team.
Well, Don DeVoe is a guy that has always been a very, very solid defensive coach. You can see his record at Navy, extremely successful, closing in on his 500th career win. This is a guy who has been successful everywhere he has been.
And again, Navy having trouble against the press, and they're forced to call another timeout.
And Wake Forest, Bob, under Skip Prosser, everybody thought that Wake Forest would immediately do that frantic up and down style that Skip Prosser used at Xavier, and the Deacons haven't exactly done that. They have used their personnel to press only at various points in the game, and they've really tried to push the ball up the court on offense, but it isn't the blazing up and down type of game that we saw at Xavier. Not yet.
Monday night right here on your Regional Sports Network. It's ACC Live. Get all the updates on ACC men's and women's basketball action, plus an inside look at some of the ACC's most accomplished scholar athletes. Highlights and scores on ACC Live Monday night at 6:30 Eastern Time. More Wake pressure. Navy attacking. They go outside to Damon Shepard, and he hits a 3.
That'll help your confidence a great deal. That time the Navy penetration drew all the black shirts into the lane. Shepard finally hits that 3, and remember, Navy likes to shoot the 3, and they shoot it very effectively.
Based on the preseason results, the #1 3-point shooting team in the Patriot League at 38%.
Mids drop into a 1-3-1 zone.
Howard for 3, swish.
I'm telling you, he has really, really stepped up his game. You can just see him playing with increased confidence.
And an up and down game, pressing, running, attacking, really suits his style. Inside, Ebong, no, and Sungila clears.
Well, you got to have that one.
Scott can't handle it. It's a takeaway for the Middies. Shepard into the paint. Rebound, Sungila clears to Howard.
Well, that's a great outlet pass.
Howard feeding, and the lay-in is up and in. Teron Downey off the Deacon bench, the freshman from Oxford, North Carolina, makes it 23-9.
That's great execution in the fast break.
And let's see, a whistle.
Foul on
Sungala, his first. Now we have a timeout here at Alumni Hall with the 19th rated Deacons leading Navy 23-9.
Chrysler PT Cruiser. Room for your loved things and your loved ones.
Buddy, here, buddy. What? Buddy. Oh, no.
So, what's your deal?
Fast food consultant. I'll try your new product and tell you if I like it. What do you got?
My new big cheeseburger. For a limited time, it's just 79 cents. A big patty with 2 kinds of melting cheese for 79 cents.
Okay, I'll eat that.
What do you charge?
$25,000.
Any takers?
All I need is one.
So the $25,000 is...
Per nugget.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report. Seems everybody but the players knew Seifert was officially hitting the road. We'll have the team's true reaction to the big announcement. And what's next for Spurrier? We'll hear from the former Gator on whether he's the one to take the bait at Carolina. Plus, how did 3 top 10 teams suffer major losses in the first week of conference play? We'll recap the wild weekend of ACC basketball. Your teams, your town, your show. The Southern Sports Report tonight after the game.
This is the 9th all-time meeting between Navy and Wake Forest. The series is even at 4-4. Third straight year these clubs have played. Wake came in here and won 2 years ago, 90-55, won 90-58 last year in Winston-Salem. And off to a big lead early tonight. Navy with the basketball. Jason Jean-Pierre.
Best way to avoid letdown is to get off quickly in terms of your scoring. Get out to that big lead, and that's what Wake Forest has done.
They are missing. Mitch Moore is unable to follow, and the Deeks have it in transition.
Mitty's really having problems with that Wake Forest size.
Levy is in for the Deeks.
There's that zone defense again.
Forward to the corner. Levy feeding inside to Scott. Sandwich got the shot away, missed it. And the rebound to Navy. Mitch Moore clears. Devon Shepard. Good shooting stroke early in this game. Got a high percentage of threes for the year. Lewis misconnects. And it's the Deeks with the drive. But coming up short is Downey.
That's a good move to the basket, though. You're in transition. You've got to recognize opportunities to get to the goal, and Downey did it very well. It'd be nice if he could finish.
Shepard. And with the beautiful pump fake, drew the foul. Talked about Shepard with his threes. He hit that one earlier tonight and is 1 for 2 tonight. That makes him 8 for 15 for the year. It may be in his best interest and Navy's best interest just to shoot it more.
Now the guys who do shoot it, Jean-Pierre and Lewis in particular, have not been able to get going from beyond the arc. Navy only 1 of 6 from the three-pointer.
Another great pump fake. Draws another Wake Forest foul. Levy's first. To the free throw line goes Jahlil Lewis. Mitch Moore heads to the Navy bench. Lewis doing a good job at the line. A 71% foul shooter, and that is a career best. Sonny Lewis, number 32, comes in for Navy. And Francis Ebong to the bench.
Well, as we mentioned, Don DeVoe is not afraid of playing his entire bench, and sometimes you look down there, it seems like they got 30 guys.
They have a JV team here at Navy, and they will play put and take with fellows off that JV roster. Maybe back in that zone as Wake attacks at the perimeter. Inside, nope, not this time. And it's going to be out of bounds to the Deeks.
One of the things that Navy is trying to do with that zone defense is lots of times in a zone, since you're not defending a guy, you're defending an area of the floor, it's easier to get back on defense. And once you can get back on defense, maybe they can make the Deacons shoot over.
Lepore short with the three. Lepore coming off that great game at Carolina Saturday when he scored a career-high 15. The runner is short. The tip is good. Kyle Barker was the man who gets credit for the tip in.
Barker, a guy who's noted for his three-point shooting.
Levy, nope. Tip, no. And the rebound to Navy. Barker clears that. Shepard. He'll shoot. Foul on Teron Downey.
And that is a nice job by Shepard to get that outlet pass and streak down the court. You want to try to get down to beat that Wake Forest defense. When the Deacons have been able to get set up, they really have created some problems with their size, blocking shots and altering shots. We talked about this guy's three-point shooting ability, but he's also the guy that's got to make it happen handling the ball for the Naval Academy.
4th point for DeMond. And the Deacs make wholesale substitutions. Guyla, Hicks, Dawson, Howard all come back in. As DeMond Shepard lines up his second free throw. 83% of the line. He's got 5. And Navy's cut it to 8.
And Skip Prosser has that whole crew he took out of the game with him, talking to him. Navy trying to be aggressive in the zone defense. Don DeVoe trying to be the 6th guy in the zone, standing there with his hands up in the air.
Well, one guy you've got to find in that zone is Dawson, and the pressure forced the turnover.
Well, the zones, as for the moment, helped stem the tide. Wake Forest not getting those easy opportunities. And remember, the Deacs are a team that have not really protected big leads very well. They did against North Carolina, but they have lost some earlier in the season.
Hicks, long bounce pass is taken away by Lewis.
That's a great job to hustle back.
Shepard.
That's a nice job by Howard. He is not giving Lewis any room at all. He's trying to make Lewis put it on the deck and go to the goal with the big guys. They're waiting for him.
Barker. And a rebound foul coming against Navy, and it's on Sonny Lewis. His first. 8:17 left in the half. 23-15 Wake. Howard, 3. No. Tipped out by Scott.
What's a nice job by Scott.
And Dawson along with the 3.
Good pressure against Dawson, though.
Shepard.
Man-to-man for Wake.
Navy saves it. Shepard missing. Hits the deck. The rebound follow-up and out. Still loose. Picked up. Oh, and missing a buddy was Barker. And a foul on Navy. Boy, you can't get closer than close, and Navy was right there.
The Navy bench very happy with the effort, but Bob, you've got to be able to convert those. A lot of offensive rebounds. Looks good on the stat sheet. They got to convert it on the scoreboard.
An 8-point Deacon lead and a timeout in Annapolis.
Okay, so let's say you're at a party and someone says, "Would you like something to drink?" And you say, "Oh, nothing, thank you." Okay, so this is that. Aquafina is pure nothing. See? Nothing. Okay, so then when you see this person again, you can say, "Excuse me, did you forget? I asked for nothing." Maybe you can say it a little nicer.
Aquafina. So pure, we promise nothing.
Nothing is the exact perfect something. Sometimes.
Current plan not working out? Alltel's got one that will. Sign up for a Total Freedom plan today and get into the game with nationwide calling for as little as $39.95 a month. There's no roaming or long-distance charges across the U.S. Plus, you'll score a great deal on a digital phone. So rush to Alltel or shop online today.
Don Pablo's Soup and Salad Infinito. Perfect for lunch, featuring our fresh tortilla tossed salad and your choice of hearty soups. All you can eat for only $5.99.
Get done. Get done. Get done, Pablo's. Get done.
Get done. Don's famous Primo combo is just $7.99. Get done. Only at Don Pablo's.
Welcome back to Alumni Hall in Annapolis. Bob Rathbun, Dan Bonner with you. Wake Forest leading Navy 23-15. Despite the fact that Navy is shooting just 19%, they battled back to cut it to 8 here.
And I think battle is the correct word. And while we're talking about battles, there's Coach Don DeVoe, and sitting behind him, that is assistant coach Victor Michael, a 1994 graduate of the Naval Academy in his second year as a Navy assistant coach, but he has been recalled to active duty. And so he is now on active duty with the Navy in Virginia. He's able to get here for this game. But with the current situation in the world, they need all the good guys they can get, and so they took him. So he is only part-time assistant coach at the moment. Stationed at the Cheatham Annex in Williamsburg. Part of his charges as port security harbor defense on the East Coast. Not Damon Shepard. His main charge is defense against Wake Forest right at the moment.
Broderick Hicks will go to the line. The last foul on Shepard. Hicks, a senior from Houston. I asked Broderick before the game if he and Jaheel Lewis went head-to-head in high school. He said no, they played different parts of town and down in Houston. But AAU ball, they were combatants. Hicks, an 81% free throw shooter.
And Hicks is going to be a key guy for the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest in ACC play. The ACC, a league dominated by excellent guards. Hicks is a guy who's going to have to step up his game if the Deacons are going to continue in first place, which is where they find themselves right at the moment.
Navy. Outside Shepard. Out of the corner, Jean-Pierre air ball.
And with Josh Howard right there in his face.
Hicks. Dawson. Scott down the lane, but just handles it.
Dawson is a guy of 70% of his field goal attempts are three-pointers. So you don't expect him to drive into the lane. And Scott was a little surprised, I think, with that pass. Wake Forest doing a nice job preventing Navy from running their stuff.
Jean-Pierre, and that's an offensive foul.
And that's one of the few times that Jean-Pierre has been able to come off a screen and be wide open from three-point range, and you have to stop and shoot that ball. You don't want to pass up an open three and drive into the middle. That's just taking the ball into trouble.
Taj Matthews coming back in for Navy. Bob Rathbun, Dan Bonner at Alumni Hall at Annapolis. 19th rated Wake Forest leading Navy by 10. Hicks quickly to Antoine Scott. Dawson out of the corner for three.
Bob,
a weapon for which he is known.
Absolutely. You said it before, Bob. If you're playing a zone, you better find where Dawson is and lean that way.
Matthews. That's good. So he gets the three right back. Taj Matthews has come off the Navy bench to hit 6 threes this season. Adds a 7th to cut the Wake lead back to 10.
And Navy's hanging around a little bit.
Dawson faking, giving, Hicks on with the three. Scott the offensive rebound. Tips it up, no. And the rebound at Jaheel Lewis. He'll take a deep bomb and shoot it short. And a foul coming on Navy. This will go against Kyle Barker, and I believe that is the 3rd on Barker. Yes, it is.
Barker, another guy known for that three-point shot, and we have not seen him loft a three-pointer in the game, and it's going to be hard for him to loft those.
From the bench.
From the bench.
Right.
Barker's also a great free throw shooter. 97% on the year. 1-1. But it's Josh Howard headed to the line as a result of a Barker foul.
And he has struggled a bit at the line. Howard, 54%, missing the front end of the 1-1. 28-18. Matthews, dishing. Moore can't get it off. Another block for Antoine Scott.
There's just nothing available inside.
Dawson for three. Howard the rebound. And he lost it out of bounds.
Well, you can't do a better job rebounding the ball on the offensive end than Josh Howard just did. Although he lost the ball, that was an extremely impressive play.
Changes for Navy. 5'11" sophomore Jason Fernandez is in. And Jason Jean-Pierre to the bench.
Very, very important final 4 minutes of the half for Navy. They have stayed within striking distance.
Shepard puts it up and off. Foul, I believe, is going to be on the floor.
It's going to be against Josh Howard coming around from the back. And that's, you've got to, on defense, you talk about, a lot of times people talk about offensive patience. You have to be patient on defense. Yeah, Shepard beat Howard out on the perimeter, but he had help in there, and so Howard really didn't need to come around and try to steal that ball. Because Shepard really had no place to go. Wake Forest with 3 block shots, and it looked to me like they were going to get another one, but the foul, of course, gives the ball back to Navy.
Matthews. Guyla gives. Hicks push Howard off his shin. Keeps the dribble alive. Fakes. Now fires. Misses. Wake ball. And a timeout with 3:58 left in the first half. The Deacons on to an impressive start, but unable to shake Navy. Still a 10-point game.
This is our family business. Every day, the whole thing comes to life all over again. We have to make sure that everything runs just right. We also have to watch costs. So being part of our electric co-op works for us, helps us get things done. It gives us more than electricity. It gives us power.
And we shine as one.
So, what's your deal?
Fast food consultant. I'll try your new product and tell you if I like it. What do you got?
My new big cheeseburger. For a limited time, it's just 79 cents. A big patty with 2 kinds of melting cheese for 79 cents.
Okay, I'll eat that.
What do you charge?
$25,000.
Any takers?
All I need is one.
So the $25,000 is...
Per nugget.
Welcome to the best damn sports store, period. Clean up on aisle 6.
Yo, get that out of here.
You ready, Jimmy?
No.
Why pay child support with the Pro Athlete Paternity Test?
Oh, DeMarco Farr. John Sally. John Sally.
Comedy, commentary, highlights. The best damn sports show, period.
We're back in Annapolis, and Dan Bonner, some choppy waters for Navy to negotiate inside.
Well, and Navy has been trying to punch the ball in there, and they just have not had very much success because Wake Forest has done a great job with the interior defense. Scott comes down, blocks this one, and then we get another block shot. Moore with 3 fakes, nothing works. Navy only with 4 inside points. They like to try to score inside, but sometimes you take what the defense gives you.
Scott tried to jam it home. Navy with it, and we've got a foul coming on the Deeks. Steve Lepore is second.
Antoine Scott just got up there a little too early. We talk about Scott being a quick jumper, and he's a little too quick that time. Songaila with the jump shot. And Scott, he stayed up there a long time. And then Lepore gets the foul because he gets underneath Damon Shepard, causes him to lose his balance.
Senior from Albany, New York, Damon Shepard averages 7 a game. He has 6 here in the first half.
Bob, and after falling behind 18-6 early, Navy has sort of stayed around. Now they've cut the lead under double digits.
Ford, Shepard 7 at the line.
And this is a Wake Forest team that averages almost 80 points a game. We've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first half, and Wake's stuck on 28.
Songaila, that's going to, a foul. Boy, the midshipman in the stands thought it was a clean block. But it is going to go against the Naval Academy and Jamie Nero. Songaila to the line, 83% foul shooter.
Bob, and an interesting thing, the last 2 Wake Forest offensive possessions, the ball has been in the hands of Darius Songaila in shooting position, and that's the mark of a veteran team. They're having a little trouble scoring. Well, go to your big scorer inside.
And Darius converts him for his 6th point. Jeff Charles in the corner for Navy. Here's Shepard. Charles feeding inside. Outside, open look, and a 3.
Bob, that time Moore didn't try to take it to the basket. He drew the defense, drew 2 guys, pitched it out to Nero. Another one of those 3-point shooters for the Naval Academy.
Jamie entered 12 of 24 from 3-point range for the year. Lepore goes for the alley-oop. Great beauty to Antoine Scott.
It's one of the vulnerable areas in that 1-3-1 zone. Navy doesn't have anybody who can get up there with Scott.
32-23. Shepard gets a screen, but doesn't look for his shot. Now for the screener, Nero. Batting around. Shepard fights for it, but can't clear. Now Hicks pushing ahead. Lepore. Bounce inside, taken away.
That's 2 pretty good defensive plays.
Inside. Quick shot won't go by Moore. And a foul on Navy. Boy, the Middies have had 2 good opportunities. Coming up at halftime, we'll have highlights from ACC women's basketball action. Big win for Maryland. Our first half highlights and stats and our Chrysler keys to the game. Also have a conversation with the new football coach here at Navy, Paul Johnson, going to Annapolis as the head coach, as the offensive coordinator here. Songaila missing the first 2. Here's Francis Ebong coming back for Navy. Dan, you're right. Wake got off to a quick start as the head coach Prosser wanted, but been a very uneven Deacon effort since. Songaila comes back to hit the second one.
Bob, getting off to a good start is one thing. You have to maintain it. And remember, this has to be from an emotional standpoint, an intensity standpoint, a difficult game for the Demon Deacons coming off that great win against North Carolina.
E-ball, tough catch, and lays it in.
But again, Bob, that ball very nearly rolled off the rim. Navy a little apprehensive about getting the shots blocked on the inside.
Josh Howard, Hicks penetrates against the zone. Scott tips and misses. Howard has it. That's good.
That was a very difficult pass. Even Antoine Scott's going to have a hard time getting up there to get that one. But Josh Howard, again, very active on the offensive boards.
Ebon feeding it back out to Jeff Charles. Now a deep 3 for Matthews. Loose ball, Navy controls.
A very, very scrappy group of Middies.
Led by Shepard. Matthews misses the 3, and Songaila rebounds to Hicks.
Matthews has not been afraid to launch it since he's come into the game. Navy stays in the zone.
Hicks covered up. Songaila drives the basketball. No shot. but will go to the line. Jeff Charles, first foul.
Again,
when in doubt, go to Darius.
Absolutely. Wake Forest doing a nice job. Struggling a little bit on offense. Go to Darius Songaila. Great free throw shooter. Very good around the basket.
We're talking about the emotions of this Wake team winning at Carolina Saturday. First time these Deacon seniors had won in Chapel Hill. They had made a lot of long bus rides back to Winston with a tail between their legs, but not last Saturday. They won by 22.
Downey coming back in the game, and it's very difficult. I think it would be very difficult no matter which opponent you played in your next game after a win like that. It's even more difficult when you're playing a non-conference opponent on the road.
And one that you pounded 2 years in a row. 37-25.
The Deacons have done a nice job from the line, Bob. They've made 8 of 10 free throws. Particularly here late in the half, as they have had trouble scoring from the field, they've been able to convert from the line.
Ebon takes it up and off. Songaila doing a great job on the glass. His 8th rebound to go with 9 points. But a Wake turnover gives it back to Navy.
It's now 9 turnovers for the Deacons, and that has certainly slowed the offensive express here. Shot clock is off.
Final seconds of the first half. And there's Downey with a pushing foul.
Skip Prosser is not very happy with that particular foul.
It will result in free throws for Damon Shepard. 1-1 coming for Shepard. It's 4-4 at the line tonight.
Oh boy.
Songaila rebound. 3 seconds. 2. Hicks floats, misses. And that will be the first half. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons got out of the blocks in great fashion, but their lead is a dozen at halftime over Navy.
Thousands of drivers are saving money by switching to Geico Auto Insurance. I'm here with one of them.
Hello.
You don't want your identity revealed. Why?
If word got out I saved so much, people would be hitting me up for money all the time.
Ah.
You through with the milk?
Sure, of course.
I have to be careful.
Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Size. Do that screwdriver too?
I'm in.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Right at that. Pliers.
Make it a Bud Light.
The last word with Jim Lowe.
Oh no, here we go again. Electrifying, gravity-defying, mesmerizing. Oh wait, there's more. Things are heating up. A lot of smack, a lot of controversy. Here we go, here we go. Welcome to the jungle. I am all over this. I am all over that.
The last word, reinventing sports talk as you know it. Weeknights on Fox Sports Net.
The National Sports Report on Fox Sports Net.
Jamal Anderson admits that right now he's down, but there's no way anyone should count him out.
The nightly show that brings you up-to-the-minute scores, highlights, and thought-provoking opinions.
We would be better off with a circus clown running the series.
Sports news the way you want it.
Barry Bonds' pursuit of the game's most glamorous record heats up.
The National Sports Report, nightly at 10:30 on Fox Sports Net.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Halftime here at Navy with Wake Forest leading the midshipmen 37-25. Your regional sports network is the home to the best in ACC basketball. Tomorrow night, an ACC doubleheader for you as Virginia looks to rebound from their loss to NC State and travel to Clemson to take on the Tigers. Then the Seminoles of Florida State visit Raleigh and the Wolfpack of NC State. The action tips off at 7 Eastern tomorrow night right here on your regional sports network. When we come back, Highlights from ACC women's basketball as we continue our coverage of the Deacs and the Midshipmen in just a moment.
The letters ACC combine to form a powerful symbol, representing the enduring pursuit of excellence. The Atlantic Coast Conference, hand in hand with its official corporate partners, continues to support the academic endeavors of thousands of student athletes and the championship events in which they compete. The ACC and its official corporate partners, making the dreams of tomorrow's champions a reality.
How fresh is the meat at Food Lion? Well, it's where's my herd?
They have just about every cut of beef or pork that you would want.
Oh, they do. They do, and if you need additional cuts, they can do that for you also. But they have a wide variety. That's not a problem at all.
We're steak lovers, so we'll buy a whole ribeye when they go on sale, and we'll come in and they'll cut them for us.
Food Lion quality, unbeatable.
And my husband stays in this department.
In the meat department?
Yes, he stays in the meat department. He likes
Which
to
bin
cook
is
out
he
on the
in? Because I
grill.
didn't notice anybody. Oh, there he is, lying over there.
Still paying too much for car insurance? Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more.
Hello? No, I can't save you money on car insurance. You want Geico, not Gecko. Well, that's uncalled for.
Geico, a 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Aren't we rolling those highlights? It is halftime.
Enjoy the ride. Don't need a reason why. Everything's alright.
Easy boy.
Current plan not working out? Alltel's got one that will. Sign up for a Total Freedom plan today and get into the game with nationwide calling for as little as $39.95 a month. There's no roaming or long-distance charges across the U.S. Plus, you'll score a great deal on a digital phone. So rush to Alltel or shop online today.
Jim here. What's so great about Food Lion? Let's find out.
Everybody's so friendly. You get to know them.
You know people in your store?
Oh, every one of them.
Who do you know?
I know John, the produce man.
Price is important, but service is more important to me.
I know Suzanne in the deli.
Customers are our first priority, and when they come here, we try to make them feel at home.
Charlie, the meat man.
People are friendly. They usually have everything I want.
I know them all.
Food Lion. Extra low prices made extra easy.
Tonight on your Southern Sports Report. Seems everybody but the players knew Seifert was officially hitting the road. We'll have the team's true reaction to the big announcement. And what's next for Spurrier? We'll hear from the former Gator on whether he's the one to take the bait at Carolina. Plus, how did 3 top 10 teams suffer major losses in the first week of conference play? We'll recap the wild weekend of ACC basketball. Your teams, your town, your show. The Southern Sports Report tonight after the game.
We are back at halftime here in Navy with Wake Forest leading the Midshipmen 37-25. And it's our pleasure to welcome Paul Johnson, the new head football coach here at Navy, who comes from Georgia Southern. I just got a late bulletin that Adrian Peterson has some naval eligibility remaining, and he'll be suiting up next fall.
Well, that would be great, I tell you. We'd love to have Adrian here, but I'm excited about being here. I think it's a great opportunity, and you know, you have a chance to work with some of the outstanding young men in America, and what a great institution or school, and everything it stands for is just positive.
Well, Paul, you were here before. You know what it takes to win here at the Naval Academy. You guided a club to an Aloha Bowl with an offense that you certainly proved that Georgia Southern can work at just about any level, and now you're going to get your opportunity here as the head man.
Well, and it's going to be a big challenge, but as I said, I'm awfully excited about it. We've put together, I think, an outstanding coaching staff, and, you know, my experience here has been that if you put in a system and a program that the mids can believe in, they'll really sell out for you. I think you see that tonight in basketball. They're really outmanned, but they're fighting their tail off and staying in the game. And I know you can win here. We won here before, and we're not going to accept anything less.
And I know that you love living here in Annapolis. This is such a great community.
Well, it is a great place to live, and you know, you have such great support. I think that our administration is committed to winning. The brigade's behind the football team, and just excited to get started.
I know you are. Paul, thanks for coming by.
All right, thank you.
Best of luck. Paul Johnson, the new head man of the football program here at the Naval Academy. We'll continue with more of our halftime in just a moment with Wake Forest leading Navy 37-25. We'll be back in a moment.
That was fun. Hey, would you be my big, strong watchdog and guard my Bud Light while I go to the ladies' room?
Woof, baby.
Hey, let's touch it.
Hey, dog, what's going on, man?
Oh, he got moves. Lily, he got moves. Stop.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
It ain't that bad.
Current plan not working out? Alltel's got one that will. Sign up for a total freedom plan today and get into the game with nationwide calling for as little as $39.95 a month. There's no roaming or long-distance charges across the U.S. Plus, you'll score a great deal on a digital phone. So rush to Alltel or shop online today.
Welcome to the best damn sports store, period. Clean up on aisle 6.
Go get that out of here.
You ready, Jimmy?
No.
Why pay child support with the Pro Athlete Paternity Test?
Oh, DeMarco Farr. John Sally. John Sally.
Comedy, commentary, highlights, the best damn sports show, period.
Approximately every 30 minutes, someone in this country dies as a result of a drunk driving incident. That is a terrifying statistic, but you have the power to change that. The next time you start to drive after you've had too many, don't. Let someone who hasn't been drinking drive. Sleep it off, take a cab home, do anything but get behind that wheel. Stay safe, drive safely.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
This ACC game is brought to you in part by Chrysler and your Carolina Chrysler dealers. And by Touchstone Energy, bringing you the power of human connections. For those of you in our audience in Florida who just got finished watching the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics, we welcome you to Annapolis, Maryland, where the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, now the number 19 team in the country in the latest AP poll, lead the midshipmen of the Naval Academy 37-25. Bob Rathman back with you here at Alumni Hall in Annapolis. We've talked at length about what's happened in ACC men's action. Let us now get you caught up to date with what's happening in ACC women's hoops. And a big matchup over the weekend pitted Maryland against Florida State. Trying to break a two-game losing streak facing Florida State. Came in with 3 of the league's top 12 scorers, including April Traylor. But she was shut out in the first 20 minutes. And Maryland, forcing 17 FSU first-half turnovers, limited the Seminoles to only 16 first-half points. In the second half, it was all Terrapins. Marche Strickland finished with 21 points, and Vicky Brick added a career-high 12 assists as Maryland goes to 2-2 in league play, while Florida State dropped to 1-3. In other ACC action from Sunday, Duke remained unbeaten in the conference with a 91-46 win over Wake Forest, while NC State got a career-high 31 points from Kayla Jones. en route to a 75-63 win over Georgia Tech. And the scoreboard from tonight in the game that was seen earlier on our regional sports network. Clemson has won over Virginia 79-68, and North Carolina improves to 13-2 with a 90-67 victory over UT Martin. My partner Dan Bonner joins me here at halftime. And Daniel, Wake Forest, perhaps Skip Prosser fearing a letdown. It wasn't apparent in the first few minutes. Wake Forest really took this game by the throat. But then Navy seemed to get their sea legs about them, if you will, and really played Wake Forest pretty evenly over the last 10 minutes.
That was a very good naval analogy, Bob.
Thank you.
Well, I think that Skip Prosser was worried about a letdown, and I don't think there's any question that Wake Forest has suffered a little bit of a letdown. But you have to give some credit to the Naval Academy. They have played with great intensity. Wake Forest's interior defense has been the key, however.
Josh Howard has been playing some great basketball for the Deacs over the last 5 games and showed it in the first half.
Well, Josh Howard is a guy who is really playing with a lot of confidence. 3 double-doubles followed by a 20.9 rebound effort, but we talked about that interior defense for Wake Forest. The block shot right there. Wake Forest with some pretty good ball movement, and then the lob pass inside against the 1-3-1 zone. Antoine Scott has been very effective. Naval Academy getting the ball inside. Very few opportunities on the interior for Navy. And as we take a look at the first half stats, you can see that the Naval Academy only 8 field goals in 38 attempts. You're not going to win very many games shooting 21%. The Middies also struggling from outside the arc. Wake Forest has done a nice job rebounding, although the Middies have more offensive rebounds than do the Deacons. Wake Forest with those 9 turnovers, that certainly slowed them down a little bit toward the latter stages of the first half.
Okay, Dan, we've got more ACC basketball coming your way tomorrow, a doubleheader on your regional sports network. And quite an interesting doubleheader it is. Virginia looking to rebound from their loss to NC State. They'll be traveling to Clemson to take on the Tigers. Clemson coming off that big win over the weekend against Georgia Tech in Atlanta. And then in the second game of the doubleheader at 9 p.m., it'll be Florida State at NC State. Dan and I will be at the ESA to bring you that one. The Seminoles coming off that magical win over Duke last night, taking on an NC State team that's coming home after the big win at Virginia. The action begins at 7 tomorrow on your regional sports network. Second half about to get underway here. The midshipmen huddled around head coach Don DeVoe. And the Deacons around head coach Skip Prosser. In fact, it's interesting to note Skip Prosser beat Navy in his first year as a collegiate head coach when he was the head man at Loyola, Maryland, and beat a Don DeVoe Naval Academy team. He has put together a Wake team that's off to an 11-3 start and leading as they bid for their 4th straight win of the season right here. Let's revisit our keys to the game, our Chrysler keys.
Well, what we talked about was the inside muscle for Wake Forest, and while it hasn't been that productive in terms of point scores, they've done a great job rebounding, and Scott and Sangano have been outstanding in terms of their interior defense.
Runner off the glass by John Pierre won't go.
Another thing we said, Bob, was that the Naval Academy had to put some points on the board, and they only shot 21% in the first half, so they have not done the job offensively. Don't think they can be upset with their defensive effort.
Dawson, 4-3. Greg Dawson's second 3-ball of the night.
Well, that 1-3-1 zone was effective in slowing Wake Forest down a little bit in the first half, but you've got to get out there and find Mr. Dawson.
Lewis.
Lewis now 2 of 8 shooting the ball.
Tough pass to handle. Dawson can't come up with it. He does get it to Singila, however, and Darius rolls it home.
That looks like the start of the game. Wake Forest getting an opportunity off the transition.
Outside. This 3 won't go for Shepard. Rebound for Navy, Mitch Moore. Fire it back out to John Pierre. Ebong. Tough to the basket.
That's really a nice move on the inside. The most aggressiveness that Ebong has shown.
Next to Dawson. Scott. Howard short hops it, gives it to Dawson. Another 3-ball, yes. Greg Dawson come out firing, up to 9 points. He had 17 in this building as a sophomore, hitting 3 out of 4 from three-point range.
Well, Dawson, of course, is one of those guys that once he gets going, he can put a lot of points up on the board in a very short period of time.
Scott fouling Ebong inside. First on Antoine.
Lots of times with a shot blocker like Antoine Scott, you want to attack him. And that is throw the ball to the guy he's guarding rather than throw it to the other big guy inside to give Scott an opportunity to go and play help defense. Doesn't always work, but they got to foul that.
Jason Jean-Pierre driving, shooting, missing, and an offensive foul. Alumni Hall at the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. Bob Rathbun and Dan Bonner with ACC basketball as number 19 Wake Forest leads Navy 45-27. And the foul coming against the Deacs. Good hustle by Shepard. Hicks with his second.
Turnovers a problem for Wake Forest in the first half. One of the problems for Navy has been the fact that Jason Jean-Pierre, who had his career high of 24 against Brown on Saturday, just simply has not been able to get it going tonight.
Shepard back to get it.
You mentioned before the game that Jean-Pierre has had a problem with consistency, only a 36% shooter from inside the three-point arc.
He's 0 for 4 tonight, but a nice bounce inside. Mitch Moore rolls to the bucket and lays it in.
And that's a nice aggressive move by Moore previously in the game when he's caught the ball inside, Bob, 2 or 3 pump fakes. That time just aggressively taking it to the basket. Navy back to the man-to-man.
Hicks to Howard. Josh Moore with the 3. Moore with the rebound. Jean-Pierre looking, finding Ebong. Goes in on Scott, and a blocking foul on Antoine Scott.
And again, you see Ebong catching the ball and attacking Antoine Scott. This is a nice job as he gets open, turns and faces the basket. That's a nice